I want to go over the writing essay prompt for Essay 2 and what you're supposed to be doing. One of the things we need to do as any class, you have to follow the directions very carefully. I think I've given a lot of information, but if there's something you don't understand, you can always go up and I'll open another discussion board where you could ask me any questions so everybody can learn from them. First thing you were supposed to do, I hope you've already done that over the weekend, read all the articles in Unit 2. You can use up to 4 specific essays or articles in this your essay. However, two of them must come from Unit 2, and you could use all 4 from Unit 2 individual essays. You don't have to use 4. You can use 2, 3, whatever, but you can't use any over 4, and you can't just use 1. You can also go back after you've used 2 from Unit 2, and you can use a couple from individual ones from Unit 1 as you went if you want to. For this essay, you will write a 4-page essay, and that essay means that that means that you will write 4 full pages. You not a half a page, not 3.5, not 3.25, 4, and if you need to go over to 5 to finish your thoughts, that's fine. But to get full credit, it really has to be the length, because that 4 pages really isn't that long of an essay on for a 101 class. Then your works cited page will be your 5th one or 6th one. It doesn't count toward the length. The general problem that you're going to be writing about is that some people do not live a sustainable lifestyle, and because they don't, it hurts our environment. Okay, so now find a specific problem and then figure out a solution. And then you also have to explain why the people that cause the problem do not live do not live in a way that can be sustained. Maybe they use too much gasoline, maybe electricity. And I don't want to read 40, 50 some papers about electricity or gasoline. There's a lot more ideas out there. The thesis must state the problem and the solution, and that means you know where the thesis goes. If you do not know where it goes, go back and review the information on writing a thesis. It must state the problem and solution. And here's an example, and it goes at the last sentence in the first introductory paragraph. Here's an example. Hardee's hamburgers are too salty. Oh, that should be a comma after that. Sorry, it's not editing carefully enough. Hardee's hamburgers are too salty, comma, so dietitians must do something about it. Okay, then after it, you would continue that sentence. Do what about it? So dietitians must lobby Congress for salt content. I think that's already sodium content. I think that's already there. They already do that. But that's just example. So what is the something that these dietitians must do? Okay. Now, in this one, people, and I mean, if you just need to start it off, I don't care, but I don't want to you turn it in this way, but maybe to help you, you just say people do not live a sustainable lifestyle because I don't know, they're selfish. I don't know. And it is hurting our environment in overconsumption. However, whatever it takes to get that down on your first rough draft is fine with me. Here's your 3 to 4 sources. Now, you must use these correct text citation, works cited entries, and page, and all the elements we studied this. So, what I'll be grading you on is the information that I had posted in the previous units. Okay? I'm going to, let's just look at this and then we will break and I'll start another video in just a minute. So let's look at our first lecture. Okay, so read the material, this material before you start your essay, and of course read your units. It's a problem solution essay. I have step-by-step instructions in another lecture. You will use sources, but only from the material in the Sustainable Reader. Listen, if you plagiarize from the internet, it's going to show up. You know, you're going to have to submit it through SafeAssign. You're going to have to submit it your rough draft through SafeAssign if you do so, and you're going to have to submit your finished essays through SafeAssign. So I'm just telling you. And besides, I've been teaching this topic for years, and I think I've read everything out there from my students' work. So keep that in mind. A lot of your grade will be from your MLA documentation, correct use of quotation, summary, paraphrase, and the integration of evidence to prove your claim. And your claim is your thesis statement. It is not what it is not. People, they laugh at me when I call my students people, but you are. Class, maybe that sounds better. It's not a report. You won't gather a bunch of material and type it in a document telling about the topic. I don't want to know about sustainability. I know everything there is to know about sustainability. I am an expert on sustainability. What I don't know is the problem that you see and your ideas and your backup evidence to pose a solution to that problem. That's what I don't know anything about. So that's what you have to tell me. So you make a claim about the topic in your thesis statement, okay? And you support your statements about your claim with evidence from the readings, okay? So if you are saying that sustainability is people do not you're saying that if people do not live a sustainable lifestyle, it is because they're lazy and they hurt the environment by throwing trash out the window. Well, what's your solution to that? Okay, so you use your sources wherever you feel they fit to prove that people just toss things out the window of their cars. Now, I don't know that there's any evidence of that in this article, but I hope you're getting to understand. It is not a personal narrative, but you can use your own experience in the essay to prove your claim. It's not about you. In the introduction is a really good place to put a personal narrative paragraph about you. Okay? Maybe you are an avid fisherwoman, and you went to the river. And while you were trying to get your boat up, you couldn't get your boat down the ramp or into the river because of a bunch of milk cartons floating or pop can, whatever. So you're saying, well, people can't keep throwing plastic away like that. They have, that's not sustainable. We can't just keep doing that because that's going to eventually kill all the fish. So if you don't have experience in it, maybe you can write I don't know that it's true or not. Maybe you went bear hunting with a switch and you realized there weren't enough bears out there. And so that's kind of, I'm just making a joke there. But you can get the reader's attention by using a personal narrative in the introduction. So, what we're trying to do is convince the reader that your claim is correct. It uses evidence to show the reader you win the argument. Comes from first, number one, your ideas and experiences, and the material you can use as sustainability reader. You have to make sure that others will believe in it, believe what you're arguing, and talk about this. What you have to have. You can't have any sources. Okay, we already went out over that. You must follow MLA guidelines for in-text citation. Ow. I have all this. I've linked several times to AL, MLA guidelines. Now, your works cited page, all you really need for that is to copy and paste what I have provided you and add the new what you're using. If I don't have my book in front of me, but you just put the author you're using and the article or essay you're using and the page number in the hard copy. That's all you need to do. You really, I don't want you to reinvent the wheel. And some of you all, I don't know why it was easier last time to reinvent the wheel when all you had to do was copy and paste. So remember that. A lot of things that you need to do, I've already talked about. Let's see, I said there's about 13 points here. I'm not going to go over each one of them. Don't use you. Rhetorical questions, that means I don't want any questions in the paper except in the introduction, and you have to answer it immediately if you do. But the rest of it, no questions. You can use I very limited in a very limited amount. The punctuation patterns that I gave you as a handout, you need to use that because some people aren't. Indicate the title of a short work, the article, long work, a book. Though that information about your rough draft is, you've already got that, but I'm grading your final drafts and I will have them posted back to you, I hope, by this evening. Here's about paragraphing. That information is in your lectures. Sources, how you use this, and here's one that you might really want to pay attention to. You cannot use long block quotation. A quotation must be 3 lines, not sentences or less, and you keep them in the margins. So don't use block quotations even if you've used them at some other class. Here is the example that you can copy and paste. So you could just, well, now wait a minute, I'm going to show you something. Make sure if you use more than one, which you have to, works cited, of course, but you'd copy this, paste it and paste it at the end of your paper. And then after you've done that, okay, well, let's just do that. So just copy and open you up a new piece of paper. And I'm going to pose. You want to see, that's not right. That doesn't look like. Huh. That's weird. I should have copied it over directly, but we doesn't matter because all we have to do is highlight it. Go up here, paragraph. You want to have 0. You want to have hanging. You want to have double. And you want to say okay. Now you've got a little bit too much there. Now, so that's the way it's supposed to. Then you would come around here and you would paste. That one looked right. Huh, that's weird. Anyway, and now then you would put the ones. You'd take that out, put the author and the name of the article, and then the page number here, and then you'd maybe got another one, and that's all you'd have to do. Okay. Okay, I am going to let go back to here. I don't care if I don't need to say that. Um, okay. Let me get back to essay 2. There you go. Here's where you do your rough draft extensions. And your essay 2 submission here. This is a rough draft. You don't have to put in a rough draft, but I said this, and I guess I'm saying in a little bit of a joking tone here. It's hard to tell, but you will get no pity from me if you don't do well after not turning in a rough draft. Just saying. Nah, not really. I would feel sorry for you, but I feel like that you would, if you were really going to complain, you would have, or really concerned, you might want to turn in a rough draft. Okay? And I'll talk about this in a minute. And I'll talk to you later.